Hi, welcome everybody. We're painting flowers. We're going to have a great time here. We're getting started. This is the finished painting. We'll get started in just a second. We're going to begin with our contour drawing and pencil drawing of these flowers here. So we have our photograph here. We looked this up online on Google. We did a Google search for some flowers in a vase. We found some beautiful white flowers. I just took this and put this onto my I saved the photo, put it onto my phone, and now we can use that to work from. We have our palette here, our Prang Oval 16 palette with all of our colors mixed. We're going to show you how to mix every bit of color here on this painting. We're going to show you the techniques of painting flowers, drawing flowers, how you're going to develop a nice composition here with some backlighting, lighting coming from this window, so you can see the window panes here. Light coming from the back, and we also have light shining on the front of this scene too. So this is a really bright lit flower painting. So you'll kind of see all of this as we go, as we're working with this. We'll describe everything, all the details of the workings of this painting, this composition, flowers, beautiful flower painting. Let's get our pencils and our paper together and our paints and our brushes, and we'll get started in just a second. All right, so we just saw the finished painting and we're going to get started here. Let's get our drawing going. And I always just like to make a border around my paper with my pencil, just so I kind of start to think about my design of my painting, where I'm going to put things within the rectangle here. So I do my pencil line around. That just kind of clicks into my mind. All right, I have my design. Let's take a moment to just think about, all right, how are we going to put these flowers in this painting? I like the photograph here. I found this online, so it's a simple photograph you can kind of see here. I will go with this here, which is these flowers. The tops of the flowers are a little bit above halfway. So if we were to take this paper and we were to just divide it in half approximately, we can take a ruler and take a look here and say, all right, this is 10-inch high by 7-inch wide. So 10-inch wide, we can make a mark at 5 inches. That's halfway point there. Make a little hash mark there. And then as I look at this here, this photograph, I see that the halfway point is about here. So we're about a little bit above halfway point for the top of the flowers, the flower arrangement inside this beautiful clay pot. So let's remember this is the halfway point. And if we kind of look at the halfway point here, we can kind of see it's this first really beautiful large white flower here. So let's kind of just make a little indication there of that first flower. And then we have another flower up top here. And that brings us about to there. That's where we want to kind of be, about right there. All right, so that looks pretty good. And then we can do a light preliminary sketch of our flower arrangement. And I'm going to try to get some of the flowers here. And so I'm going to do a light sketch. And then sometimes if you're doing your preliminary sketch, which is really your very, very light first sketch, sometimes you can actually work right from that and go right in and start painting. It depends if you're happy with it or not. Sometimes you might think to yourself, I have to go back in and maybe do a few touch-ups and things to the drawing. But it's up to you. And I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this so far, with the pencil drawing. table. Table is back here, the end of the back of the table, like that. There's a little bit of a reflection. So the light's coming from the back of this flower arrangement, and there's also some light coming from the front too. So this is kind of like a well-lit flower arrangement. You have light coming from the front, from the top, and also from behind. And I think I see some windows back here. So I'm just going to put some indications of some window panes. Very lightly I'm going to put those in, and I might paint those in. Actually, I will paint those in, some of those window panes. Like that. And I think that's pretty good. I think that's plenty of information here. We're going to put in the center of our flowers. And this here has some so I'll just make some dark shadowing, a little bit of dark shadowing. Where the center of the flowers are. Like that. And this one over here is like that. And there's some dark. And I think that looks good. I think we can start to paint in just a second or two. Let's. I'm going to leave this these window panes. I'll leave these very loose when we do the background in this painting. The main focus is obviously going to be our bouquet of flowers. And let's get started in just a second. I want to take a quick break. And then we'll start painting. All right, now that we have our painting, our contour drawing done, we can get some of our brushes together here. I thought I would use the Prang Oval 16 paintbrush. It's a number 6 round brush. That comes with the set. We'll use that. And then also, too, I'm trying to see if I can find... This is my Simply Simmons brush. It's a number 9 round brush, synthetic. I got this for a really good deal online, maybe like $5 for this. And you can kind of see this one has like a pearl finish. Easy to find, the Simply Simmons round brush, number 9. You can see that it's got a pearl finish to it. So these two brushes, I think we can get the painting done with ease. Let's start working on getting our colors mixed here. So I'm going to first of all empty my water bucket from my previous painting session. Always important to keep our water bucket clean with fresh water, fresh clean water. So I'll rinse it out a few times. I also use a fan brush. So a lot of times what I do is I use a fan brush like this, and I just stir it around a little bit just to get the sediment on the bottom of the water bucket, the water container dislodged, and then I can get some fresh water in there. And then I can just get some fresh water. And then what I'll do is we will start, let's paint this alla prima all at one time. So we're going to go in with the darks first, And I think we're going to make some really beautiful greens here and some, I can see we have some brown and orange. Brown and orange kind of color with some green in there. That's really nice. That's for some of these green leaf forms. And then we have some really nice green here, green with some brown mixed in there. And some blue, like that French ultramarine blue look. So it's kind of like a dark olivey green like that. That'll look really good. And maybe some light green too. So I rinse off my brush. Maybe I'll go with some lighter greens too. We'll mix it up with some variations on our greens. Maybe some yellow there too. So you can kind of see when I start out my painting, I want to just get some colors out on the palette to sort of, set the pace for the painting, the tone for the painting, the colors. This way I'm not stressing when I get in there and I start painting and I go, oh, what color do I want to use? Or it's kind of easier for me anyway. You're the artist, what do you think about this? If we're working from this photograph here, we can look at the photograph and then before we start painting, we can just start looking at the colors and sort of matching our colors in our palette to the painting. So we look at the painting and say, okay, I see some kind of that orangey color for the vase, like a kind of like a clay color, and that also is repeated in some of these leaf forms. So I have that here, and then I thought, all right, I can see plenty of greens, olivey greens and dark greens up here for some of the leaf forms. And then I also said to myself, let me add in a little bit of the lighter greens. I can get a little more maybe variation with a little bit of the lighter, more lively looking greens, the brighter looking greens too. And then of course the flowers themselves are white, so that's not much we're going to do with that. But we will use some shadowing colors with that. So we will maybe add some blue and some purple. I think that'll look good for some of the shadowing in the flowers a little bit. And then we also have some lemony yellow for the center of the flowers with some brown maybe. So some lemony kind of brownish color. I think that looks good with a little bit of green. So I think that'll look good. All right, so I have all the colors planned out pretty much. And again, we'll start with the darkest darks maybe. So what I like to do is alla prima, we're going to paint this all at one time. I take my brush, rinse off my brush, dry off a little bit of the water, and then I go right in and get some of my darker greens up here. And maybe let's start down here. I'll switch my brush around like this so I can get the point of the brush there. And this is an Extreme Beginner Series painting, which I like to do these because really it's we're kind of having a really fun time just drilling down on the basics. We have our basic palette here, our Prang Oval 16 palette. And I think it's kind of a good practice to, if you're just starting out in watercolors, we're not going, out and spending large sums of money on painting gear. You're gonna get your feel for watercolor first, and maybe try out some different art supplies and paintings, and you'll be here working with us on a constant basis. And then as you go, you can start to maybe put some more investment into better brushes and paints and things and branch out. But I would say in the beginning, it's really good just to maybe start out in a more simple fashion, simple palette, inexpensive brushes. And of course, these brushes are synthetic, which means they're a lot easier to work with than some of the more expensive brushes. They hold less water, so when you're working with your paints, sometimes a lot of people that start out in watercolor will complain a lot that there's too much water flowing around their paintings. And so this is a great way to kind of alleviate that problem, is you use some synthetic brushes like this one. And it really does help. You have less less water on the brush and more paint, and that works out good. So I'm going with these darks, as you can see. Wow, that turned out to be a really nice, good dark there with some of that purple. So I'll take that and sort of bring that around to a few other locations, since that color looks really good, that tone, that dark tonal value there. And where else? Let's keep going. We have some of that rusty looking color, that like clay color on one of these petals, these leaf forms here. So there we go. And then some more purple and blue with that green. Maybe a touch of brown too. And blue. We'll get that a little bit dark. So as you can see, I'm just going in with the darks first, as much as I can, all the way around the painting. I'll rinse off the brush and maybe go in and get some of this green too. So I want to try to mix up my greens here if I can. And I might even do a couple splashes here and there. Okay, that's looking good. Sometimes I go off the script, and I'll sometimes add some things, make something a little bit larger maybe, sometimes here and there. Okay, that looks good. And I'm thinking it's about pretty soon. I think I'm going to take a break. Okay, this is a perfect time for a break. When we come back, this will be dry a little bit. Maybe if we let this dry just a little bit, maybe for a few minutes or so, we'll be able to maybe do a little more detail around the centers of the flower here. I think we should add some yellow. So when I get back, I'm going to take some of this yellow over here and add it around the outsides of that darker bit of color that I put in the center of the flowers there. So I'll take a quick break. So I'll just set my brush down for right now, and I'll come right back in a few minutes. All right, so we're getting back started. I think I'm going to start working on the vase a little bit. Let's take some of that orange, a little bit of the orange red. I think that looks good. There's going to be some blue in there too, I think. We'll add some blue. And this painting is pretty much paint. There's a lot of light coming from the back, from the windows back here, so not a lot of light and shadow on the front of this vase here. And then we have some of the shadowing here. Like that. And then maybe some more blue here. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then there's a bit of a backsplash here, so let's get that. I'll use some of the blue. And again, I'm not going for perfection here. Let's have some fun with our washes. That's kind of a grayish blue, like that. Then we're going to go with some purple. For a little bit of shadowing. There's a little bit of shadowing here and there on these flowers. So we want to try to capture a little bit of shadowing anyway. Some there. A little bit there. right, that looks pretty good. And we can kind of see that everything is starting to look good. I'll get some more of this blue and I'll maybe do the window panes here. Then I'll maybe go with a little bit of a different color here, mix. So I'd like to maybe change a little bit of the color, so we're not going to have just one color there. Like that. Then I pick up a little bit of the red, back to the blue and purple. Like that. Maybe a little bit of splashing over there. And just a couple bits of color, texture, splashing, texture, color, brush movements. Warm and cool. Paint, blues, and then some of the reddish orange, that kind of clay color for the wall over here. And then we have our window panes over here. That looks fine. And I think I'll leave the table just the way it is. I'll leave white paper for the table. We have our reflection for the bottom of the vase. I might add a little bit of a darker, maybe that a darker bluish purple. Or maybe I'll just add a little dark there along the bottom of that vase. And there might be some more darks up here. Like that. And then maybe we'll use our Prang Oval 16 brush that comes with that set, with our set here. I'll pick up some more of that dark and we'll just do a few finer lines here. You can kind of see it's got a very, very good point. You can see the point on this brush is really, really nice. It's good. It's synthetic too, so it lasts a long time. And then I'm just going to do a couple things like that, just to give a little more detail to the painting. And I think that looks fine. I think we have a finished painting here. I thought I'd go with a little more yellow, just a bit of this lemon yellow around there. And I think that looks fine. I think we could do a little more dark bits here of paint on these window panes. I wouldn't go with every single spot. Maybe up here toward the top of the painting I might add some darker darks like that. and maybe under here, under the bottoms of the the grills. So you can add some nice little bits of dark that kind of counterbalance over here these darks. So you can even go in and get some more green, blue, purple, brown to kind of gray it down a little bit. And then maybe that looks pretty good. That matches up with the dark greens. And you just maybe do a few bits of dark like that, just to tantalize the eyes. And maybe the same thing here. Now that wall there, I would say, or that shadow, we could go with a little more blue and purple there. I think more blue and purple might look good. Blend it in with the vase a little bit, tie that in. And I think that looks good. That's a finished painting for me. You're the artist. You're going to keep working your painting until you think it looks good, until you have that finished look that you want. And as always, if you enjoy this video, please thumbs up if you like the video and you found that you have learned some new things and you're enjoying my content on my channel. I'm always looking for feedback too. I thank you for all your comments, all your kind comments. So many people leave so many. I can't always thank you enough for saying such kind words about my artwork and my videos and my work here on YouTube. I'm so happy that we're all together working on our paintings. This is a fun flower painting. I hope you enjoyed this, and you'll be excited to come back again soon. Again, if you subscribe on the right-hand side below, you won't lose track of me. You'll be able to come right back and get started again when we create our next painting. And if you like the video, again, please give a thumbs up. You know, feel free, ask questions in the comments section. Comments are great. People really enjoy going into the comment section and reading about your experiences in watercolor, what you're learning, things that work for you, things that you've done that are actually, working really well for you in watercolor. So the comment section is a perfect place. We all get together and we enjoy seeing what people have to say. Our fellow artists, we're all together here working on our watercolors, getting better and better all the time. We keep practicing week after week, month after month, year after year. And so it's great to work with everyone again. We'll see you soon on the next video.